What's up guys, this is Vince Verma, and yes guys, today I'm really very excited. As you can see my excitement, I'm riding today the all new Benelli 600i. And yes guys, today is very interesting day and someone is calling me. Yes.
A few moments later.
A big thanks to Elvinar Benelli to letting me to ride this bike. We also have the Benelli 300 rider and we will ride together. We will be driving this bike for around 8 to 10 kilometers and I will share my ride experience about this bike. Trust me guys, I am riding for the first time a 600cc segment bike. I already rode a 600cc segment bike, but the main difference between that bike and this bike is it's an inline 4-cylinder bike and it has very powerful guys and it pulls like really crazy. This is not my first time that I am riding a 600cc segment bike. I also ridden the Z650, the Ninja 650 and also the Interceptor 650. But the main difference between this bike and that bike is that bike are dual cylinder or single cylinder bikes, but this bike is an inline 4-cylinder bikes, and just imagine the refinement of this engine guys. The first impression of this bike is I love this bike really very much guys, and not only that guys, the first impression that I found about its weight is literally this bike weighs around 240 kilograms, which is really very heavy guys. And not only that, while riding this bike we cannot even feel the weight guys. The weight displacement is really very linear, which I felt this is very good thing guys. This bike is really very powerful guys. I don't know the power of this bike, and trust me guys, I don't want to pull this bike or stretch this bike here because of the traffic conditions, and in my opinion safety first and speed next. Believe me guys, this bike is a naked bike, and being a naked bike also, the suspension of this bike is really very comfortable guys. I did not expect that the suspension would be that comfortable, and I have also a pillion bag to me, and really guys, this bike is very comfortable, and I did not think that the bike provides this much comfort that I felt. Really impressive. And nothing much to say about its bike sound guys, it sounds really crazy. Yes guys, this bike has really good stopping power guys, and really this bike literally needs that stopping power. And yes guys, in the front section we almost get a 300 or I think so 320 mm discs, which provide good stability guys, and they are twin disc brakes in the front section, which really provide amazing braking power of this bike guys. And trust me guys, this bike literally stops from when we apply the brake, the bike literally stops. And frankly speaking guys, this bike should get that type of brakes because this bike is really very powerful guys, and the braking is really very good on this bike. And not only that guys, being an inline 4-cylinder bike, this bike's engine is really very refined and it is really very butter smooth guys. It is just flowing like butter on a pan. And from that time, only one thing I did not like in this bike are just the rear view mirrors guys. As you can see, the rear view mirrors are little bit small and they reduce the visibility. Yes, but we can see what is going on in the back side, but they are little bit small, and this is the only thing that I did not like in this bike. And yes guys, this bike has a really very good road presence, and it attracts the maximum attention of the people. When you take this bike for a short spin, or when you purchase this bike also, the maximum people will ask you about this bike, guys. I bet you that the 90% people will ask you about this bike. And yes guys, I forgot to say about the main thing about this bike, guys. The maintenance cost of this bike is really very low, guys. If you compare it with the inline 4-cylinder bike, the service cost and the maintenance of this bike is really very less, guys. And in practical words, we can say that this is one of the best economical inline 4-cylinder bikes that we can buy in the Indian market. And yes guys, from that time I'm observing that this bike has literally no vibrations, guys, and I am really very surprised, guys. This bike being a 600cc bike inline 4-cylinder, this bike has really very low amount of vibrations, guys. When the vehicle reaches only 9000 or 9500 rpm, it's generally very common, guys, for being a bike vibrations. So below that rpm limit, the vibrations are really very less, guys, and this impressed me a lot, guys. Really, frankly speaking, this really impressed me. And not only that, guys, in the traffic conditions also, this bike is literally flowing very smoothly, guys. And yes guys, being a 240 kilo bike, this bike doesn't feel the weight in the traffic conditions also, guys. This really impressed me, guys. And yes guys, I have an idea. Now I will be comparing the Benelli 600i, that means this bike, with my bike, guys, that's none other than the Ninja 400, and see what is the price difference and the power difference and the branding, that all we will be discussing now, guys. Now first we will talk about the Ninja 400, guys. The Ninja 400 is also best in its segment, guys. That's the 400cc segment bike, and it also produces a good amount of power compared with the 400cc segment bikes. It literally produces almost around 49 bhp of power, guys. That's approximately 50 bhp of power, which is really very impressive, guys. And that bike has a 2-cylinder engine bike, and that bike is also very refined engine bike. And till date also, guys, I did not find even a single issue with my bike. That's the Kawasaki Ninja 400. It is also a very premium and a very refined engine bike. And now let's compare the Benelli 600i with that bike. First of all, the Benelli is literally very powerful. Look at the power of this bike, guys. It's really a crazy machine. It pulls like as if we can't really describe you, guys. This bike has literally very huge amount of power, guys. Almost 85 bhp means when compared to my bike, it's almost a 35 bhp more powerful bike, which literally means a lot, guys, because that 5 bhp means it's almost double my bike's power, guys. And really this bike deserves that, guys. It's a 600cc 4-cylinder bike which pulls like crazy. And yes guys, my bike is around a 2-cylinder bike, and this bike is an inline 4-cylinder bike, which is really very different when we compare it with my bike guys, because the 4-cylinder bikes are more refined than the 2-cylinder bikes. Talking about the brakes in both the motorcycle guys, in my Ninja 400 it's a 300 mm single disc brake in the front section and around 240 mm single disc brake at the rear section guys. And trust me guys, that bike brakes are also really very good, as I daily ride my bike and I feel a good riding response from my bike guys. And talking about this bike brakes, this bike has also a good braking power guys, and they are the double disc brakes in the front section that are of a size 320 mm, which are very massive guys. And this bike also gets the ABS as a standard, and really guys, this bike also have a better, when we compare it with my bike, this bike has a really better braking power guys. But when we compare the weight of this bike to my bike, this bike is little bit heavier guys. It's almost 240 kilograms, and my bike weighs around near to the 198 or 190 kilograms guys. And yes guys, this bike is really around 50 to 45 kilos more heavier than my bike. So when we compare in the weight ratio, the braking is good for both the bikes guys. And talking about the power guys, the Benelli 600i is a clear winner, and it produces really massive amount of power guys. And talking about the refinement also, the being a 4-cylinder engine bike, this bike is really very refined than my Kawasaki. And talking about the top speed of both the bikes guys, my bike is a fully fed bike and this bike is a naked bike. When we compare the top speed of both these bike guys, my Ninja 400 I have driven around the top speed of around 160 kilometers per hour guys, and that's not the limit of that bike. That bike can also go around 195 kilometers per hour, that I have seen in some YouTube videos guys. And talking about the Benelli 600 at top speed, this bike can easily cross around 220 to 240 kilometers per hour guys. That's really very crazy guys, and just imagine 240 kilometers per hour is not a joke guys. And being that weight of this bike also, this bike can do such a top speed which is really crazy. And because there is a power of this bike is also more, so this bike can do that amount of top speed guys. And being a naked bike also guys, this bike can do a very good top speed guys. That's really very crazy guys. Being a inline 4-cylinder bike guys, this bike sounds really crazy guys, and this bike is really crazy bike guys. No words to explain the craziness of this bike. Only one thing guys, as this is a big bike, the turning radius of this bike is somewhat bigger guys, that's it. Look at the power of this bike guys, really very crazy machine guys. And yes guys, the braking power is also very good. And one main point I want to say guys, the cost of my Kawasaki Ninja 400 is almost, it costed me around 5 lakh 50,000 or 60,000 on road price guys, and this bike costs around 7 lakh 10,000 on road price guys. Just imagine My bike is just a 400cc dual cylinder bike, and this bike is a 600cc inline 4 cylinder bike and also produces a more power, guys. And not only that, the looks of this bike are also very good, and the braking power is also good when compared with the Kawasaki Ninja 400. And finally, the one thing I wanted to say you guys from the starting of this video, the thing is none other than the cost of this bike, guys. Frankly speaking, this is one of the cheapest inline 4-cylinder bikes that we can buy in the Indian market, guys. And frankly speaking, guys, no other 600cc inline 4-cylinder bike costs as same cost as the Benelli 600i costs, guys. It is really one of the best 600cc bikes that we can buy in the 600cc segment. And my best suggestion is, guys, if you are planning to buy a 500 to 600cc segment bike and you want a big bike feel like a super bikes, you can just take this bike, guys. This bike also has good power. It is a good brand, that's the Benelli. And not only that, guys, this bike has very attractive and very muscular looks, guys. And maximum people will ask you about this bike, guys. It is one of the craziest machines in the 600cc which are ever built, guys. Not only that, guys, this bike sounds really crazy, guys. Being an inline 4-cylinder, it is one of the craziest sounding bikes in the Indian market, guys. So my better suggestion is take a Benelli 600i and let your dream fulfill like a super bike dream, guys. So this is one of the best option that I can give, guys, because the 600i is one of the best selling bikes in the Indian market, which is of 600cc. And yes, guys, this bike will blow your mind, guys. This is one of the best premium bikes that you can buy in a 600cc, guys, and it is also very economical, guys, buying this bike. And literally, frankly speaking, guys, this is one of the best bikes you can buy in a 600cc, which gives you a super bike feel and also costs you less and gives better economic for all your daily commutes, and all your service costs also will be less, guys. And if I have a chance, I will definitely sell off my Kawasaki and I will definitely get this Benelli 600i, guys, because it fulfills all my requirements, guys. That's it, guys. That's all I wanted to say in this video, guys. So if you want any more details about the 600i, I will make sure that I will directly give the Benelli showroom number in the description box below, guys. So you can ask more details, and the further details will be given by them, guys. And thanking you for making me a part of your day, guys, and I will see you soon in the next vlog. Until then, bye bye, take care, and this is Vince Verma signing off, guys.